find it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
In the cultural landscape of medieval Western Europe, one enigmatic character stood apart from his contemporaries. Heavily influenced by the unequivocal Christian worldview, in which creation was divided among moral lines between God and his righteous followers on one hand, and Satan and his fallen devotees on the other, little room was left for nuance, a facet reflected in most well-known cultural figures of the time. The just and noble king, benevolent mother, and brave, chivalrous knight serve as clear examples of good archetypes, each embodying traits and lifestyles celebrated in medieval European society, while likewise the traitor, tyrant, and seductress remained firmly on the side of villainy. But in this age and atmosphere of stark, black and white moral distinction, one particular character managed to straddle the boundary between celebration and revilement, an agent of change and seeker of pleasure, occasionally working in service to a greater cause, while always advancing his own interests. Clever, manipulative, and above all unpredictable, the archetypal trickster, Reynard the Fox.
Come on, French Reynard the Fox! Out here teaching and loving, dressed like Puss in Boots, out here tripping. Let's get it. You guys heard it? Clever like a fox, sly like a fox. Y'all have heard that before. The trickster. It is necessary for our development. It is necessary for our protection in some cases. Are y'all ready for tonight's topic? Man, this topic is so fire. How do you learn how to be a better steward to your inner fox, your inner Eshu, your inner Loki, right? Right? How do you? Is there a crossroads between the subconscious and the conscious, between the mask you wear and that which you suppress? Is there an inner Eshu at your intrapersonal crossroads? Whew. Heavy stuff tonight. Let's get my brother back in here. Nazarene X, Atlanta, Georgia.
Sir. So on a quick note, again, while I was keeping out the word, the communication of God, his style was to let you know, even in the so-called subtle way. Basically, where I come from, we say flat out, which is like flat out what to do. The tree with the fruit of life or whatever, like eat the tree of life. Even after you mess up, you're still gonna come back down to, hey, how do we fix this problem? Eat the tree of life. The trick is too as well. Now that proverbial garden, that starting point where we were all first set for. They got the cherubim there with the sword, the flaming sword, the hot words, the uncomfortable truth. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of test, that fire. But that is the way as well. You're going to have to find your way back to what God was saying all along for you, what your confidence was saying all along. What the truth is, period.
I got
To
you.
reclaim that, you know what I'm saying? Go for it, though. It ain't going to be easy. But you got a sword, too. Love.
I love it, brother. I love it. Nephew, what you own today, sir? What are you on today, man?
All that Muddy Wucky. Shout out.
Hey, Muddy Wucky. Hey, man. Guess what you just did? You got to tell me, man. Guess what you just did?
Lama Lama Ding Dong, ATL in the building.
ATL in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, get to the phone lines. Get ready. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Let's jump over to Denver, Colorado. Cali Soul. Haven't heard from Cali in a minute. What up, Cali? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey now.
Hey now.
First of all, I don't know how you managing to sizzle at the bottom of the sea. You done went deep tonight and you sizzling.
Hey, I love it. I love it.
So I think that one of the biggest disservices that we do to our inner work is we run away from accountability. And a big way of running away from accountability, at least the way I was raised and the thought systems that I was raised in, is the devil.
Keep going.
That's outside of you. That's not, that to me, the way, like I said, the way I was raised, it was like the devil was something that you could not control. But now today, in deeper study, I see that the devil is parallel with the ego. That's the ego. The ego makes you take accountability. No, this is me creating chaos in my life. And when you try to speak this way to some religious people, like, you don't go over there.
Yeah, this sacrilege.
We ain't talking about that.
Yeah,
that's not religion. That you like. At matter of fact, you are possessed.
Something wrong with you.
Yeah, but it's like you've been tricked out of your power by saying that this is something outside of you. So I'm West African. I'm Ghanaian. My family is actually from West Coast, where the slave castles are. It's very interesting. My tribe is Fanti. And it's my understanding that we are the people that submitted to colonialism, whereas the Ashanti fought and they went back into the land and, stood their ground. So when I try to speak to my elders in my family on my West African side, it's very interesting how much programming they've accepted.
Right.
Because when I start asking them about African spirituality, they're like, "Oh no, see, that's juju. We don't even worry about that. That's juju. Don't even worry about that." And I'm like, "Nah, I'm curious. I want to know. I want to understand." Because in growing up in America with an African American mom and in Christian spirituality, I wasn't taught about power. I wasn't taught about my intuition. I feel like those are things that you should teach your children. Those are things that you should know about. But that goes into African spirituality. And even when I talk to the African side of my family, they're like, we don't even do that. We believe in Jesus over here. Praise the Lord. Get your mind right, Essie. And it's like, no, I respect that. I appreciate how far it's brought me, and now I want to go deeper. Because to me, understanding African spirituality is powerful. But we've been tricked out of it. We've been programmed to think that it is voodoo. But something, matter of fact, I won't even use that term voodoo, because voodoo is voodoo, and that's that, and that's okay. It's a beautiful thing. But in this Western culture, we've been taught that it is bad. We should be afraid of it. It is demonology. It's been demonized, and that's unacceptable for me. Yeah. I really wish you teach a class, just a basic class in this, because it really resonates with a lot of your listeners, I believe.
Yeah, but you And you're right, but you have to be careful with people's belief systems. I mean, because like I was saying during the break, I'm a lover of the truth and I can spot it anywhere. And when I read any belief system, I can see the truth in it, right? I can see it. And a lot of people have been kind of conditioned and institutionalized in the way that they consume religion. It's based on where you were raised and, all of that. But the reality of it is all truth is the truth everywhere, regardless of culture, race, and interpretation. So the whole psychology of the trickster, though, like I explained earlier, right? When the white guy comes into Africa and says, my definition of your explanation of reality trumps your definition of your explanation of reality, right? You have an explanation. You're the father and mothers of this belief system, but I'm going to tell you it's not right. So then if I come back and say, wait a minute, where's the oldest form of Christianity found? We'll say, oh, it's in Africa.
Here.
Do you see? So we are the fathers of that belief system. We are the fathers and mothers of Christianity, period. The African version of Christianity is older than the European version of Christianity. And every black folk here in America that is a Christian, their religious belief systems stem from the European side. But we got to do what Big Mama told us to do. I remember Big Mama said, son, our people are made up of 3 people. We are the Native American, the African, and the white man. That's what she told me, right? And so sometimes we got to say, okay, maybe our relationship with the white man wasn't so good. And maybe we shouldn't take everything that the white man says and his definitions of things as the gospel truth. Maybe we should go back to our indigenous descriptions of reality. This is why I love the movie Sinners so much, because even Ryan Coogler, he said, oh, Smoke and Stack, the twins, are based off of the Yoruba Ibeji, which is if you get initiated, which is the same thing as asking Christ into your heart, which is the same thing the Muslim does when he does shahada. Shahada, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu. When you do that, ashhadu, I bear witness. You're saying, I bear witness to Allah. Allah is the one, and Muhammadan Rasulullah. Muhammad is the apostle of Allah. That's when you do that. That's the same as accepting God, Jesus into your heart. That's the same as initiation into Ifa. Now, if you go with somebody and you guys are doing it together, you guys are getting initiated together, they say you guys are Ibeji. You guys are initiation twins. So when you see the twins in the movie, it starts out and it looks like one person, and then the camera swings and you see the other person. In the African iconography, one brother is wearing a red hat, the other brother is wearing a blue hat, and we'll get into that color scheme later, right? But the point of the message tonight is this Eshu guy, this Eshu concept gives birth to the medieval Renard the Fox, gives birth to the Norse Loki, gives birth to all of these trickster archetypes. And what they're saying is the trickster archetype in your personality is necessary to ward off emotional vampires and predators, but you got to learn how to manage it. So now my question to you is, how have you mismanaged your internal trickster?
Oh, gosh.
How has it deluded you and got you? Come on, Callie.
Yeah. Again, not being intuitive. Like now I can see like, oh no, that's my lower self, and lean into it and get the message, whatever the message is in the moment, you know, like if it's opposition, strong opposition, usually, you know, then it's like, okay, what is that? Why am I feeling this way? Why do I want to run away from this work? What is the work? And then once I do that, usually it's revealed to me, and it's like, okay, now I see why, because, you know, you were just triggered, and once you get triggered, you want to run. But instead of running, let me ground myself and look at you. Look at myself. Look at me. Look at me.
What about ignoring your intuition?
Oh, yeah, I've done that plenty of times. And went right on over there with, I call her Shay Shay.
Shay Shay.
We done ran down the street. Yeah.
I'm going to do it anyway, Shay Shay. Stop warning me.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
I love it.
You pay, and you see what you've done. But again, that's accountability. And oftentimes, we can listen to our lower self and still not even hold ourselves accountable. Like, no, I did that. Not, oh, Lord, what done happened? Can you help me? If you just help me get out of this, I won't do it no more. And it's like, yeah, you will.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you will. Man, Callie, you know I love you, child. We gonna see you at the Miracle Theater on the 31st. Ladies and gentlemen, you gotta come to the Miracle Theater. TheMiracleInglewood.com. Go buy your tickets right now. Zoe Williams and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to be live. I'm bringing the clinicians. He's bringing the comedians. When I tell you, it's going to be on fire. We're going to talk about all those ratchet relationship concepts that are out there floating around. But our clinicians are going to clean it up, and then our comedians are going to cause us to split our pants. It's going to be absolutely crazy. Go get your tickets now. Callie Soul, guess what you just did?
All right, brother. I bought them in the building.
We love you, Callie. Denver's in the building because of Callie Soul. If you want to have a real conversation, all you got to do is call me, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, we going to Houston, Texas. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-729-7070. That's 1-800-729-7070. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-729-7070. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a Black and Brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh, there's something on my mind. Won't somebody please tell me what's wrong? You just a fool, you know you're in love. What you say? You got to face it to live in this world. You take the good, the bad. Sometimes you're happy and sometimes you're sad. One more time, you know you love him, you can't understand why he treats you like he do and he's such a good man. Listen, he's got me smiling and I should be ashamed. Got me laughing when my heart is in pain. Oh, now I must be a fool, but I'll do anything he wants me to. Now how come you're just a fool? You know you're in love. Tell me one more time.
I met a man, not met a man, I used to know him. He was a judge. And one day he said, I'm passing judgment, left and right, about crime and murder, all kinds of things, but I don't know what truth is. So he said to his family, I'm going away. I'm going to find it. He spent 25 years, I mean, these are facts, meditating, find out what truth is. So somebody came, brought him to one of the talks which I was giving, which is important. And he came to see me afterwards. He said, I've 25 years, I've been mesmerizing myself. It's complicated. Deceiving myself. I haven't found truth. You understand? There it is. For an old man to realize that he has 25 years deluded himself, to admit that. You can't believe.
Krishnamurti. We affectionately call him Krishnahurti because he drops the truth. He's talking about a man who deluded himself for 25 years. But even after 25 years, he was freed of that sentence, and he came back to the as the Quran would call it, Adina Sirat al-Mustaqim. He came back to the straight and narrow pathway of the righteous. Even when you're off course, you're on course when it's about spirituality. See, when you're off course, that just means you're going on a rocky road. You're going on the road of experience. You're going to hit your head. You're going to bump your knee. You're going to twist your ankle. You're going to fracture your leg. See, that is that road. But it all still takes you back to where you need to be. We all have an internal trickster, and we must learn how to manage it. It's not something that is to be or that needs to be eradicated totally. It's something that needs to be refined, cultured. Do you see? So that it can work for your highest good. Do you see? That is the purpose of tonight's topic. Let me get my niece in here. Attila, Houston, Texas is on deck. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
This is so good. What's going on, SU's incarnate? How you doing?
Don't do that.
Listen. Okay, but no, seriously though. Okay, and I'm not trying to like be controversial or anything, but
then you're going.
We're talking about spirituality,
right?
So let's do it.
All right.
I think we really like okay. I really feel like we like deception as long as it benefits us. As long as I can get something from it, right? Case in point, the biggest thing in spirituality right now is manifestation. Even the Christians are talking about it.
Right.
Every journal, every book, manifestations. But to me, manifestation in itself it's like a form of self-deception. I have to believe it before it comes.
So
if I'm trying
I gotta
to
trick myself. Go ahead, I'm hearing it.
Yes, So to me, I feel like there's a serious positive actually to this trickster element if you know how to steward it. Hence, stewarding your inner trickster. So on one side, you've got the self-sabotage, you got the negative aspects, and for me, like that's where I feel this trickster element coming in my life the most, because paralleling, like, I guess I wouldn't say parallel to that, perpendicular to that would be your manifestation, your ability to bring things in your physical reality. If there's something that I'm wanting, right, I could say it all day, but if I'm not actually believing it, it's not going to come. You can't fool God, can't fool the universe, however you want to look at it. You really can't even fool yourself. Like, the word says, like, the heart, what is it? The heart is above all evil, something like that. Who can know it? Right? Like, so I look at it like we have all these desires, and we might speak certain desires or say certain things that we want to manifest, myself included, but what is your actual heart posture? Like Nikki was speaking about the other night.
Yes, last night.
Right?
Your
like,
heart posture.
Right?
Yes, come on.
Right. Like if my heart posture is not in line with what it is that I'm trying to manifest, then I'm going into the shadow aspect of the trickster. If I say I want a new job or a new vehicle or a new place, whatever, but within my heart is lack, that's that shadow side or element of the trickster. And this is why you're unable to bring it to the forefront.
Stay right there. Don't go nowhere because you're cooking. You're cooking. I can't let this meal. You're not done. You got to cook some more. Stay right there. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on complete fire. Hey, I got to go get some water. I got to go put some fire retardant. We got to put this out because it's crazy right now. When we come forward, I'm going back to Houston, Texas to get the rest of this from my niece.
I'm telling you like it is. That's no lie, and I'm gonna keep him satisfied. You're just a fool, you know you're in love. Tell me how come. You got to face it, to live.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Rapper Kanye West and his wife have reconciled and now plan to sue his former dentist for malpractice. The suit claims the dentist gave him nitrous oxide and propofol, billed him fraudulently, and abandoned treatment. A new Trump executive order may undercut California's ban on suspending students for willful defiance. Critics say it harms progress on racial equity, while backers say schools need local control. President Trump says he's all for Stephen A. Smith running in 2028, calling him sharp and entertaining. At a News Nation town hall, Trump had no tips to offer, just compliments. Smith says he's not planning to run. And Kamala Harris is blasting Trump's tariffs in her first major speech since leaving office. She called them recession risk and, quote, the greatest man-made economic crisis, end quote, saying the last few months have felt like chaos. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's time to bring people back into the hiring process. If posting jobs online and screening applicants is failing, turn to the experts, Express Employment Professionals. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. Express blends tech with local support. That's expresspros.com.
If you missed our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall, the Altadena Eden Fire, 100 Days and Counting, you missed an evening of reverence, reflection, and reality.
You gotta live in the reality because this is it. Every day, you wake up, is this my life? Don't stay in denial because yes, it is. Don't stay in bargaining where you're praying for a miracle and if it wouldn't have happened, then this is what I would have done. It did.
Our panel participants kept it real. Really real.
I think, number one, it's amazing to me how we ignore systemic racism in our community, and as a people, we've apologized for so much, but when will we stop apologizing for what we have paid for? Because the truth of the matter is we paid for this.
You can always count on KBLA Talk 1580 to give it to you straight, no chaser. When you love folk, you tell them the truth. Seeking the truth, speaking the truth. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we don't black down. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
It's me, Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash. I see those dry elbows, baby. But don't worry, get moisturized right in the shower. So hydrated you can skip the lotion after.
Don't wanna see it, trying to wash. Skin so moisturized with body wash.
Look at you now, no more dry skin. Your skin gets the moisture it craves with
Olay Indulgent Moisture Body Wash.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Individual results may vary. Consult a doctor prior to use.
If you've struggled to lose weight in the past, this important message is for you because you could lose as much as 50 pounds or more with Zelfie. Zelfie makes it easy and affordable to get weight loss treatment 100% online. Zelfie providers can prescribe FDA-approved GLP-1 weight loss medications clinically shown to help people lose weight like Wegovy, Zepbound, and others. Plus, help get the medication covered by insurance so it's as little as $0 a month.
The doctors are super helpful, and the meds have been a game changer. It's the first program I've had success with.
Before Zelfie, I was unable to lose weight, even though I was eating healthy and exercising 6 days a week. Zelfie helped me not only lose weight, but I feel so much better.
Text GOAL to 200-300 to get started today with Zelfie and see if weight loss medications like Wegovy or Zepbound are right for you. Don't wait. Text now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text GOAL to 200-300. That's GOAL to 200-300. GOAL to 200-300.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Figure in American Indian myths that represents this power of the dynamic of the total psyche to overthrow programs. This is the negative aspect, and it's called a trickster. It's a very, very important figure in American Indian mythologies. In the East, in the forest lands of the Northeast, it's the great hare, a rabbit. When you go west of the Mississippi in the plains lands, it's coyote. You get up in the northwest coast, and it's raven. These are smart, clever birds and animals. Now, it's a great puzzler to well-trained Christians to come across the trickster hero, because he's both a kind of devil and fool and the creator of the world. So he comes in as an upsetting factor. He breaks through. He even breaks through the notion of what a deity ought to be. And this, I think, is about as good an example as you can find anywhere of the trickster hero. Now, that trickster trait turns up in deities like Yahweh. Yahweh's a trickster. He lets people build a building, and then because it gets to be 3 stories high, he's afraid it's going to wreck heaven, and he comes down and floods the world. That's it.
Man, that is the legendary Joseph Campbell. But you know what bothers me about that? He didn't say anything about Eshu. He didn't say anything about the African origin of the trickster. He talked about American. He talked about the European. The hare. When you see the hare, think of Bugs Bunny. That's the trickster. He has this duality to him. In some ways, he could play the villain. Some ways, he could play the good guy. Sometimes Bugs Bunny could be very abusive, especially to Elmer Fudd and Daffy Duck, right? And then sometimes he can be their friend. Do you see? The trickster in psychology is a real thing. And all I'm trying to bring to you is, have you lost sight of your internal trickster? How has that wreaked havoc on your relationships? You can't think that you've got it all together and that you can sit in a high moral seat above your partner and condescend and judge and critique and try to get them to change and bend, but you don't have to do anything. That's a sign that your trickster is running you. That's the purpose of tonight's show. Attila from Houston, Texas. Get in here. Let me get your final thoughts.
Sorry, it took me a while to take that off speakerphone. You cooking. You are cooking. No, okay, that is exactly what we were talking about. Again, like, how am I going to be mad at my partner for tricking me when I had to trick myself initially for them to trick me? Just say what you said earlier, child.
No, you know what's deep?
You cooked.
No, you know what's deep?
Huh?
I'm going to say it. This is what's deep. There's a fool in you that helps the fool you attract to you to fool you. And this is the same thing. Relationship as a mirror. Trauma bonding. Your wounds are calling in wounds that mirror them so that they can have some type of fight, so they can resolve each other. These wounds want to come to the surface. That's what Carl Jung said. These wounds are in your shadow. They want to come to the consciousness so that they can be resolved, so they can be released. But everybody got such a divinely crafted mask.
And I think we all kind of know that too, though. Like, you know that when someone's putting on airs, and you know when you putting on airs. I think it's the fact that we're silently okay with it.
Come on, country girl, you putting on airs. Right? I love that.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Come on, country
but
girl.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it's true though. Like you know you funk it. You faking and fronting or whatever. You know you are. Like, but it's the fact that you're okay with your own ability to front and fake, but not someone else's. Like, I find that wild that we do that. Like, and we do it every day. We do it at work. We do it in the grocery store. We do it wherever, right? That's what niceties are.
Ooh, pretense.
The root word is what? Nice.
Fake self. Well, let me get over here. Okay, let me make sure I keep this together because this is my bread and butter. I don't want to mess this.
Well, and at the end of the day, we also know too that because we don't accept our true authentic selves in spaces that maybe have certain quote unquote standards or whatever the case, instead of just walking away and saying that space is not for me, we continue and persist just like we do in relationships.
Wow. I love that.
If I showed up as my authentic self and the person rejects me off rip, that is a blessing.
Yeah, because you showed up as the trickster. Everybody's expecting your mask. They're not expecting you.
Right.
That's what the black sheep is in the family. They're the trickster. They're going to upset the apple cart. Ooh, come on, girl. You in here cooking.
And it's funny you mentioned the black sheep, and I don't want to take too much of the time, but it's funny you mentioned the black sheep because I think, you know, on one end at the beginning, you start off noticing things and you speak what you see. I say this because I know this very well in my own family. You speak what you see, and eventually you learn to essentially
shut it down.
What's the word? Like, well, you learn to appease, right?
Right.
Whether that means not speaking or behaving in a way that is not natural for you. But where does that shadow side come in? What do you think that looks like? It looks like rage. And that rage we eventually take out on our partner. Having learned the mechanisms of how to manipulate and everything else, we do the same thing we did to our parents, to them, to survive, right? And then once you got them, then there comes the real you, the rageful side, the upset side, the meanness, the ugliness that comes out in court or wherever it is that you're having your debacle, right?
Right.
And so I say all this to say that, you know, I think deep down inside we become resentful. We become resentful of ourselves because of the way that we have behaved, and we know that it's not right. We know that it's not authentic. And so deep down inside, it has to come out at some point. And I think that, you know, we do need to show one another grace for each other's tricksters. But also, you know, having those boundaries and being able to say, hey, this doesn't fly with me is also good, too. But I don't know. You know, we're all learning. I'm learning.
We all learning.
But that's all I wanted to say.
Hey, we love you, young girl, young lady. Come on. Houston, Texas is in the building. Attila, guess what you just did?
I brought Houston in the building.
We appreciate it. Listen, when we come forward, you already know what it is. We all over the country. We got Arkansas, we got Inglewood, but we going to Inglewood first. Inglewood up to no good, City of Champions. Y'all already know one of the legends of the VOR is lined up to cook. Here we go.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-388-6607, 800-388-6607, 800-388-6607.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Comedy Connection series featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number, because Ray, he's going to text it live, and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
And so finally we come to the last consideration, which is the question, in what way and by what means can an individual who is under the impression that he is a separate individual, limited by and enclosed in his bag of skin, how can such a person...
Listen, I want you to hear the rest of Alan Watts. I mean, we done had some giants as clips to bring the whole point of this thing. Alan Watts, Joseph Campbell, so many, Krishnamurti, Sai Baba, like so many people. Man, this was powerful tonight, but we got to get these callers in here, and I want to get them in quickly. Leroy from Inglewood, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
Much love, much love, much love. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Is somebody behind me?
You got a little time. That's why I preempted the clip.
Okay. No. You know, I didn't want you to cut off Alan Watts. Now you on a roll. Now you're on a roll. You had travel, then you put Watts in there. So first of all, I was really kind of stunned, but grateful that you started tickling around the SU concept. And you took it from the external into the internal.
Right.
I'm grateful that you're using it for healing instead of, hurting people with certain harsh.
Exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? Because SU forces you to look at some things that you don't want to look at, and then make you move in a direction that you don't. You kind of want to stay still, and he's gonna make you move.
Right.
So recognition, internal versus external. healer, revealer, reconciler, forces movement. You had thought, the principal, pre-recorded archetypes, Sobek, SU, low key, Brer Rabbit, Bugs Bunny. These are change agents.
Come
the
on.
Eurocentric, unfortunately, switches to the court jester, and that model is disrespected, denigrated, and socially reviled versus the African-centered model where he's joking, but he's also revered and sought for private counsel and used for teaching the dull, the defensive, and the resistant.
Right.
Sadly, I don't know, maybe not so sadly, we need tricksters.
Right.
Because we're not ready for the truth. And then when we become ready for the truth, we also become bitter, cynical, abrasive. We don't give the hugs right no more. We're not smiling. We don't know how to greet people. So it's almost like you done got this knowledge and then you got worse with the knowledge than you was before you got the knowledge. So, now people don't want you around.
Right.
No one who worships their oppressor is mentally sane. No one who's mentally sane worships their oppressor. White supremacy gives no gifts which are not poison. White supremacy does not share power. White supremacy has no relationships or agreements which are not expendable. If you don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything you know or think you know, understand or believe you understand will only confuse you. I said all that to say, we are a tricked, confused, bamboozled people. We have false ethnic notions. Our history has been lost, stolen, and strayed. Thank you, Bill Cosby and Melvin Van Peebles Sr. And so until we get up on the right knowledge to know thyself, to love thyself, to save ourselves, we're going to continue to stay on these gerbil wheels, these B.F. Skinner rat race gerbil wheels.
Come on, operant conditioning. I hear you, B.F. Skinner. Let's go.
Ain't that why you brought up SU, so we could get to the point to recognize that while we pointing the finger outward about the things that are influencing us, in fact, the only thing that we can change and control is if we master recognizing, like neuro-linguistic programming tries to get us to do, that if we speak certain truth to ourselves in a certain way, we can motivate ourselves to move in a direction that promotes healing and reconciliation as opposed to staying, backwards and going in circles.
Man, see, this is why it's the city of champions, brother. This is why it's the city of champions. You got to call in more often. I'm going to keep pushing topics.
No, hold on, the ladies. But you got to admit, the ladies did it the other night. You got to admit the ladies did it the other night.
Yes, they did.
No one needed to interrupt that.
Nobody.
No one needed to interrupt that.
That's right. The ladies cooked it up.
Now.
That's right, brother.
Right. Give them props now. No one needed to interrupt that.
Yes, sir. The ladies did crush it.
That's right.
Hey, guess what you just did, though?
Humility.
Yes.
Well, hey, we brought the city of champions in the building once again. Much love to you, man. Continue to be a blessing.
Thank you, brother. Inglewood in the house. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. My homeboy Davey Lee from Arkansas is up next. Davey Lee, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Yeah, man, this is much needed, bro, because I'm not going to lie. I got such an ego problem, bro, that it's crazy. And I know how to fight a little bit, so I'll just be wanting to go to war with people who I feel playing with me, man. But it's just like I end up playing with myself. I'm the one who the problem.
You the trickster, right?
Yeah, I'm the one who the problem, man, and I gotta tame this beast, man. That's why I love combat sports. And I remember a few years back you gave me a card reading. So when you said I had to choose between love or money. And I don't even think it's the money, it's the even exchange that I gotta choose from. The even exchange, man. Want my get back, want my just do instead of giving it to myself.
Well, love will give you wealth. Don't ever get it twisted. It's not really separate.
I've been peeping it.
It's just you can't go after the money without love. This is what the passion and the purpose is about. So it's not really separating one or the other. It's just that you don't carry love into that drive sometimes. A lot of people won't carry that love into it like it's a purpose. They'll carry ambition, they'll carry hunger, but they won't carry purpose and love, right? And really a type of equilibrium. This is why this whole SU piece is working tonight, because that's what he represents, a paradox. Hey, man, guess what you just did, my friend?
I just brought y'all in Arkansas, man.
Man, we love visiting the sticks, man. Arkansas, nothing but love to my brother Davey Lee. Let's wrap it up. The Yoruba concept of Eshu, draped in red and black. You know, Mike used to wear red and black all the time. We're talking about Mike Jack, right? You see him in red and black. Or they'll put evil people, vampires or whatever. They'll be in red and black. That's the color of so-called evil. They knew what they was doing. They don't ever want you to reconnect to the gatekeeper, right? But guess who the Archangel Gabriel is? The messenger of God. That's what Eshu is, the messenger. See, they don't want you to know the similarities because they don't ever want you to reconnect to your own soul narrative. Do you see? The Yoruba Eshu, draped in red and black to signify paradox, and the medieval Renard the Fox, the medieval European shapeshifter who outwits kings, embodies the same universal truth. Enlightenment demands betrayal. One operates through sacred chaos. The other operates through subversive satire. Yet both hijack the psyche's craving for coherence, the soft life, peace. I just want to protect my peace, right? To force confrontation with the fragmented self, the unindividuated shadow, and the Jungian mask. Do you see how all this is coming together? Their methods, rooted in cultural mythos, reveal neurobiological and metaphysical blueprints for how trickery catalyzes individuation. This is what a therapist is going to tell you. We got to individuate. You got to get to that point where the shadow merges with what everybody else sees. You got to become a whole person. And this is what the metaphor of Eshu and Renard the Fox and all the Lokis of the world, this is what it all meant. In Yoruba cosmology, Eshu governs the Orisha, the deities, which represent the forces of nature, communication, and guards the crossroads, Ojubu, right? Symbolizing choice and consequences. Eshu, Yoruba god, power, and the imaginative frontiers frame Eshu as the divine hacker who disrupts linear narratives to align individuals with their destiny. Listen, I merely started the conversation. I just want you to go on a journey. It's easy for us to go watch a movie and say black people made it, but why don't we reconnect with our roots like the movie tried to make us do, the movie Sinners? That's what Coogler is doing. It's bigger than vampires. Do you understand? I love everybody, as my friend Nikki from The Sip would say. This is my Friday. I love y'all. When we come forward, a new week and more heat. I holla.
The world was on fire and no one could save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. And I never dreamed